Welcome everybody to my top 12 favorite figures of 2020. I know this video is a bit late, but fuck it. Who cares anyway? So yes, get right along to my number 12 spot. And for that spot is gonna be Earthrise Leader Class Double Dealer. Now I picked him for my 12th spot because I really did like this figure. If you saw my review of it, you know that I liked it. It was a pretty decent figure. I liked all the painting and sculpting. I also liked that it was a triple changer. The articulation was pretty good. And it's a pretty big figure, and I like figures like this. Like new characters that I haven't, or other characters that I haven't got yet. So, this is number 12. I think it's a pretty decent figure. The only reason not higher up because all the other figures are kind of better than it. So, yes, move on to number 11. And for number 11, it's going to be Studio Series Voyager Class Sentinel Prime. Now, this is a really nice figure. I really like this figure. I think, did I give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10? I don't really remember what score I gave it, but I really do like this figure. I liked all the kind of glossy red paint on it. I definitely did like this. Oh, definitely did like this head sculpt over here. See? The head sculpt. It's a really nice figure. The articulation wasn't that good, which is probably why it's lower on the list. But still a really nice figure. Ooh, loose joints. But yes, now move on to number 10. And number 10 goes the Earthrise Deluxe Class Wheeljack. Now this is a really good figure right here. You guys know, I actually do really like. You guys don't even know this one I'm talking about. But I'm not really that attached to Wheeljack, but I never had a figure of him. So I wanted to get this one from the Earthrise line because it also looked pretty good. And it does. This video isn't even a script. I didn't even make a script, by the way. I'm literally going off of this at the top of my head. And I'm not really good at this at all. I didn't really plan this out. But it is still a really nice figure. And I really do like this figure. The articulation is really nice. And, yeah. I also like the head sculpt as well. So, yes, move on to number 9. And number 9 is Studio Series Camaro Bumblebee. Now, I like Bumblebee in the Bay movies. I like his design. I like the Camaro mode, and I also do really like the look of the Camaro cars. So I really did want to get this figure a lot, and I'm glad that I picked it up. I did have a little bit of breakage right there, if you can see that. I don't know. There, I showed you that in his review, which was I think like 5 months ago. I'm pretty sure it was his review. Probably actually more than that. Probably like 6 months ago, his review was. So yeah, pretty nice figure. I like the painting and sculpting, and also the articulation is pretty good as well. So now let's move on to number 8. Then for number 8, I'll have to give that to Marvel Legends Gamerverse Atmosphere Armor Iron Man. And I put this figure on this spot because I feel like I like this figure better than all the other ones I showed. And it's just a really solid figure. I mean, the articulation isn't that good, but I wish it also came with some blast effects. But first Marvel Legend on this list at number 8. I think it's a pretty good figure. Pretty good figure. Moving on to number 7. And for number 7, I'm going to give that to Earthrise Voyager Class Starscream. As you guys know, Starscream is my favorite Decepticon character because, I don't know, I just like his personality, him always wanting to take over his leader instead of Megatron. But this is a really decent figure, really good figure, in my opinion. I mean, the articulation isn't as good as other Siege figures. I mean, they could have had a waist rotation. I mean, they could have put a wrist rotation there, but I could see why they didn't put a waist rotation. This is a upscaled version of the classic Starscream. But the head sculpt is good right there. Do have some paint chipping. And the jet mode is also pretty good. I don't know why people always complain about the underside of jet modes. There's always going to be kibble on the bottom of the jet modes. I don't know why people always complain about that. And this part right here, I really don't care about. So, now let's move on to number 6. For number 6, I'm going to have to give this to the Velocity Suit Spider-Man. Now, I actually like this design of a suit. The painting and detail on this figure is absolutely stunning. I wish I could put it higher on the list, but every other figure is just a lot better than this one. I like a lot more, but this is still a really good figure. If you haven't got it yet, I suggest this figure for you. I mean, I wish it did have some butterfly joints on there, but the painting and sculpting, just all the paint, you see like the light blue, just really justifies it for me. And also the amount of poses I can get this guy in is also really nice. You see this pose right here. So now you just move on to number 5. For number 5 is Netflix Impactor. Before you say anything, yes, I did review this figure in 2021, like yesterday actually. I reviewed this figure yesterday, but yeah. But I do really like this figure a lot. The detail on it is amazing. I like the look of it better than the original. I just don't like those gaps in the legs right there. It doesn't really contribute to the transformation. It's just hollow points. But the articulation on this figure is really good as well. I like that you can get it in an ab crunch, and just the posability is awesome on this, and the painting and sculpting. So now let's move on to number 4. And number 4 has to go to Earthrise leader, Optimus Prime. This figure is amazing. If you haven't got this figure yet, I suggest you get it. Because I recommend this figure to you. Because this is an amazing piece of work right here. It's almost like, it's like a miniature masterpiece figure. I had so much enjoyment just posing around and transforming this figure. Because the vehicle mode is amazing, and the robot mode is amazing, and it comes with a flipping trailer. A trailer. It comes with a trailer as well. You can't really put much in there except for Cliff Jumper, but it also came with the Matrix of Leadership. Look at this. Look at this tiny little Matrix. Look at that. And also in the thumbnail, if you saw, the Matrix is this way, showing the hollow point instead of that way. But I just noticed that like literally yesterday. But this is a really good figure. I rated a 10 out of 10 on that review. If you haven't seen that review, then you can go check it out if you want to. But let's move on to number 3. And number 3 is going to the Spider-Man Retro Vintage Collection Waves Negative Zone Spider-Man. This, I haven't actually reviewed this figure yet, but I just had to include in this list because this is a really nice figure. The articulation on it is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this freaking pose I got in. I mean, it would have been better if the ab crunch would have worked properly. I'll get more into that when I review it, but the amount of accessories that this figure comes with is absolutely amazing. I just really love this figure a lot. So, let's get on to number 2. And number 2 is going to the Studio Series Voyager Classic Blitzwing from the Bumblebee movie. This figure is absolutely stunning. If you didn't see the toy, you can check that out if you want to. But I got so excited when I found this guy because this is one of the most anticipated figures of 2020 that I was hoping for. When I first saw leaks of this, I got so excited and was waiting for it to show up in my stores. It was sold out on Amazon, sold out on Big Bad Toy Store, sold out everywhere. But I'm so glad I got my hands on it. This figure is absolutely amazing. Yes, it does have the problem like this. That is a problem with it that I don't like, but I still gave it a 10 out of 10, I'm pretty sure. Did I give it a 10 out of 10? If I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, I give it a 10 out of 10 now. I'm changing the score of it because this figure is amazing. The articulation is amazing. The transformation is really well done. And the painting and sculpting is also well done. That head sculpt is just absolutely amazing. But, let's move on to spot number 1. And the number 1 figure of 2020 for me is Masterpiece Jazz. Was this a shock to anyone? I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because you guys, I don't think all of you saw the review, but a couple of you saw the review, and you guys know how much I love this figure a lot. This is so accurate to the Michael Bay movie. Yeah, I love it so much. I couldn't take my hands off of this figure. at all since I got it 2 months ago. That's probably how I got this paint scratch right here. But this figure is absolutely amazing. I love the head sculpt. I love the accessories it came with. Except for this one. But that doesn't matter right now. The articulation is pretty good as well. The transformation is enjoyable. I love the vehicle mode. I just really do like this figure. Everything about this figure is amazing. But that's it for spot number 1. So with that concludes my list for my top 12 figures of 2020. Couldn't even fit all of them into this one circle because it's too small. But anyway, that's it for this video. I see you on Saturday for another review. Anyway, bye.